diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Gabe Megginson, who's an offensive lineman out at Illinois State. What's up, man?
Oh, not a whole bunch. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, doing well. Why don't you go ahead, just give me a brief history of your career, if you don't mind.
Yeah, grew up in Jacksonville, Illinois. Played at Jacksonville High School, Central State 8, best conference in the state, I believe. Played a lot of good ball against some great guys, and got to play at U of I for a little bit after college, initially, and transferred over to Illinois State, and it's been really smooth since then.
Gotcha. So, Gabe, I have you listed in my notes, about 6'5", 315 pounds, which is definitely a decent size there for an offensive lineman. Again, you had mentioned, you started your career out at Illinois. I believe you were like a fairly high recruit too, like a 4-star athlete. So, you got out there and really, held your own against some of the best competition there. But chat with me just a little bit about, you coming over to Illinois State. Like, how exactly did that happen?
Yeah, Coach Speck here kind of established a relationship early on in recruiting, and kept his distance, but I always had him in the back of my mind, if I ever looked to transfer. And a couple coaching staff switches at U of I, and young player, probably shouldn't have been out there for some of the earlier games of my career, but lucky enough to be out there. It was a blast. But all those things kind of added up to me heading over to ISU, just 40 minutes away, and it's been a blast. Yeah, I played all over. Yeah, like left tackle, right tackle, both guards. Not a lot of center, but left guard's my home, and been hanging out there since I've got here, so it's been fun.
Well, so it sounds like your loyalty is mainly to the state of Illinois. Kind of a cool thing that you ended up, again, staying fairly close to home there in Illinois State. Tell me, Gabe, what do you think is, like, I don't know, maybe one of your best attributes, maybe the best thing that you bring to the
table? I think I'm pretty technically sound. I think I pick up on things pretty easily, easily coached. And, I just, day in, day out, I'm a consistent player all around. So.
Gotcha. And is there maybe a player that, I don't know, maybe you would compare yourself to in the league or aspire to be that's currently in the league right now?
I've always kind of wanted to be like Taylor Lewan, just because just a stud all around. But Quentin Nelson, every guard should probably want to be like him. He's a freak, but, you play your own game and try to add little touches from here and there.
Yeah, you kind of need to, watch a little bit of film from everybody. You figure, as a collegiate athlete, you obviously have these, awesome, like, role models, idols, if you will, that are playing in the league right now. You had mentioned Taylor Lewan, and the image that comes into my mind is just him being, just a mauler on almost.
Yeah.
And just completely dominating, using his will completely against his opponents, and just a very aggressive guy. But most of the guards that I've talked to, they're all aspiring to be Quentin Nelson. You figure he's pretty much the best in the league right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is what it is. Talk to me a little bit more about yourself, if you don't mind. Again, just thinking about really just what you bring to the table and part of your resume. In my notes, I have that going back to your days in high school, you were a little bit of a track athlete. did a few other things here and there, but can you maybe chat with me a little bit about those experiences and maybe how they've helped you as a football player?
Yeah, so even going back to wrestling in junior high, just starting to figure out my body control. Um, I look like a deer when I ran before junior high, so that kind of the coordination kind of came along with that. And then going into track, you just practice the same thing. I practiced the same movement over and over for 4 years, just trying to get that one good rep at the right time. So just that the craft of practicing from track like really helped with like small techniques or forgotten things with offensive line. So I think that all kind of comes together in your play or my play.
Gotcha. So, I mean, obviously you were a thrower. I mean, you really weren't too much of a runner back in the days. So, I mean,
Oh no.
you get a 300-pound guy out there, you don't really expect him to be doing sprints.
Right.
So, but hey, Gabe, I also want you just to, if you don't mind, give me like maybe some of the best moments of yours, as an athlete on the field, as a football player, um, maybe a highlight that you want to share.
Yeah. Shoot. Colorado State, my first year at ISU, just watching James Robinson and a couple of the backs just dominate. Everybody just doing their job, and we beat them by like 20 something, I think. So it was really cool being the underdog, and turns out with the history here, you're not really the underdog usually at ISU. So I don't know. It was just a blast overall, and it wasn't the biggest game I played in, but just the most fun and best energy probably I've been around in football.
Yeah, I mean, and again, just you had mentioned James Robinson, who's really doing some great things in the league, for Jacksonville. I mean, that's really one of the things that you guys have seriously brought to the table over the past few years. It's just a very solid run game. I mean, with him and just a great offensive line unit there with Drew Himmelman, kind of, right beside you there on the offensive line, and you guys just completely, running it down people's throats. Totally did a great job there. I was just going to ask you, with what's been going on in the world today with, COVID and stuff, and you're now sitting at home. I don't know if you guys even played a game this fall. What are you doing to stay motivated? What's been happening during this off season?
It's shifted like 3 or 4 times. At ISU specifically, we're like top 10 with the highest growing cases, and just like it's just so densely infected here. So it's especially been careful here, but it's been weird, but we've been hanging in there, workouts, drills, doing whatever, and just kind of staying around guys, I think, is a big deal. Everybody kind of got used to being alone, so being back around everybody has helped out a ton. And, just kind of hanging with your boys, it always makes things a little more fun. So that's been keeping me motivated.
Right. Well, I mean, it definitely helps me to be able to talk to guys like you, get through the day, because you figure, we're all stuck inside trying to find something to do. So
Exactly.
This is fairly productive, I guess, if you want to call it that. I mean, obviously right now, the other thing that you're doing is you're actually still in school. I mean, you've been in school there. You've been in school just in general for a while, obviously going into your 6th year in college. What have you done so far as a student? I mean, what's been your major? If you've graduated, just kind of tell me, like, what's going on with you there.
Yeah, so I graduated last December, and I got my degree in university studies with human development focus. So, I mean, kind of social work in me, I like talking to people, but now I'm pursuing a political science degree. Really interesting time to be doing that. And, it's been interesting again with school, but luckily I was going to be all online even before this. So not too big of a shift.
So I mean, you kind of had, I guess, a head start, so to speak, with everybody
Right.
else, which is pretty neat. So one of the other things about you that I just kind of find funny, but I mean I feel like it's a decent story. Can you kind of I don't know, fill in the history of why your Twitter handle is Gooey? Why are you Gooey Megginson? So
Yeah.
fill me in on that if you don't mind.
In high school, senior year, had a sports marketing class with one of my best friends, Connor Strimlaw. Free shout out right there. We were bored, probably just wasting time in class, and I decided I want a nickname, and I embrace my size and nicknames that aren't so nice. So I kind of started tossing some out, and he came up with Gooey, and it just rolled right with it. So it's still hanging in there, thankfully. But yeah, kind of self-created, not really though.
Oh, well, I mean, whatever works for you. I mean, at the very least, people are, able to find you on social media.
I'm
So,
saying it's working out.
I mean, it works. Anything else about you that you want to share in this video? I mean, any interests, hobbies, passions that you want, everybody to know?
Um, I like music a whole bunch. I like playing music. I like listening. I don't know. I kind of just like creative things. I wouldn't say I'm like a hipster by any means, but um, I can kind of play the banjo sometimes. I don't know. I feel like I can just kind of randomly do some weird things very mediocrely, but I'm just trying to, put my hand in every jar that I can. So I don't know. I think I do some weird things, but also a lot seems pretty normal to me.
Yeah, I mean, you were telling me at one point about some music production that you're trying to do, on your own, maybe with a
Oh, yeah.
friend or something, and then, going back several years, like being in band in high school, doing
Oh, yeah.
orchestra, playing drums and stand-up bass.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, man, I keep my notes, so I mean, I still
There we
have that
go.
in front of me.
Thank you.
But yeah, man, very musically gifted guy who can also move bodies on the field, so gracefully.
Well, thank you
um,
so much.
but hey, man, this is usually the part of the interview that I just kind of give the floor to you as to maybe some of the people in your life that you want to give some shout outs to, give some love. Going from like your coaches and mentors to even some of your teammates. So go ahead, man. Floor is yours. Who do you want to give some love to?
Family, friends, given, girlfriends, a given. There's a lot of professors that I've met that just made school very interesting for me. But um, training staff takes care of me so well. Coaching staff, strength staff. Coach Etheridge, especially our offensive line coach, he has motivated me more than I've probably ever been, and just the guys I'm surrounded by on the O line and D line. They push you. They push me every day, so I'm very lucky to have that. Oh shoot, am I still in here? Yeah, very lucky to have that. So excited to play with these guys this year for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, we talked about a whole lot of guys that you've had as teammates over the years. I mean, again, a lot of great players there at Illinois State. So as we begin to wrap up, I mean, I try and ask this question. It's really just the why question. So, I mean, tell me why you play football, and maybe just a little bit of your motivation, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think at first I kind of fell into it. Big kid, just why not? And then I don't know, it just turned into a passion like for a lot of other guys. And you start figuring things out, and it just keeps getting a little more fun each time. And it's just exciting every day to be able to do that.
Great. And if you do get the opportunity, I mean, I want to allow you the chance to give your pitch to a professional team. I mean, what kind of a player would they be getting if they took a chance on you?
I think going back consistent. I think I'll show up every day, and I will work to get better. Maybe I'm not the best at this, best at that, but I think I consistently work at what I'm not so good at and can be honest with myself. So I can take coaching, I can take hard coaching. I'm just open to being better.
Cool. So, Gabe, one of the things that I've really just enjoyed about you really is one thing is really your positivity. I mean, you're a fairly positive player, great teammate. I realize that you do have a lot of passion for playing football. The other thing too is you do have a lot of experience. I mean, being able to go from a player in the Big Ten facing some NFL caliber players. I mean,
right.
And you have to take that into consideration that you've seen guys that are the best of the best.
Right.
And then to be able to take that into Illinois State and deliver and still be dominant. I really think that that's one of the best things that you do bring to the table. And then of course you having some experience along that offensive line. I think that also helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyhow, Gabe, best of luck to you, man. I really appreciate talking to you. Again, this is Gabe Megginson, offensive lineman, Illinois State. Check him out. Thanks
Awesome.
again,
Thanks
bud.
so much.